Beloved Saints, today's 5-minute message of redemptive history is about Abijah of the second period in the genealogy of Jesus, Part 2, from the 4th book of Redemptive History series, God's Profound and Mysterious Providence. In Part 1, we examined how Abijah was not worthy to become king, but he was enthroned by the grace of God. At this time in Part 2, let us learn how Abijah walked in the way of sin once he became powerful, and share God's grace together. First, Abijah was greatly triumphant in the war against the northern kingdom of Israel. Wars never ceased between Rehoboam, the first king of the southern kingdom of Judah, and Jeroboam, the first king of the northern kingdom of Israel. Abijah, the second king of Judah, continued to fight against Jeroboam and the northern kingdom of Israel. In this war, Abijah's army in Judah was numbered at 400,000, while Jeroboam in Israel had an army of 800,000. Judah was overwhelmingly outnumbered, facing an 800,000-man army of Israel and what seemed to be certain defeat. However, as soon as the war started, Abijah declared to Jeroboam and the army of Israel, "O sons of Israel, do not fight against the Lord God of your fathers, for you will not succeed." This is in 2 Chronicles 13, verse 12. Abijah was asserting that fighting against the southern kingdom of Judah was tantamount to fighting against God himself. The southern kingdom of Judah possessed the covenant of salt, by which God had promised to give the rule over Israel forever to David and his descendants. However, the northern kingdom of Israel had betrayed that covenant and had become a kingdom that worshipped golden calves, the very thing that God detested. Abijah rebuked Jeroboam for betraying God by driving out the true priests and following the ways of the foreign nations by appointing priests for what are not gods. Moreover, Abijah sharply criticized King Jeroboam for allowing anyone who brings a young bull and 7 rams to become a priest. Abijah's bold covenant-based declaration was the driving force behind Judah's victory. In 2 Chronicles 13, verses 17 to 18, it says, "Abijah and his troops inflicted heavy losses on them, so that there were 500,000 casualties among Israel's able men. The Israelites were subdued on that occasion, and the people of Judah were victorious because they relied on the Lord, the God of their ancestors." Everyone. In such a way, those who fully trust in the Lord and firmly believe in the triumph outcome will truly be victorious, even in the face of precariously dangerous situations. Second, Abijah walked in the way of sin once he became powerful. Abijah continued to grow in power after his victory in battle. He took for himself 14 wives and had 22 sons and 16 daughters. Once he became powerful, Abijah's heart got proud and he neglected the affairs of the kingdom. He sought after physical satisfaction by engrossing himself in the carnal pleasures of life. The more powerful he grew, the further he distanced himself from God. In 1 Kings 15, verse 3, it says, "Abijah walked in all the sins of his father, which he had committed before him, and his heart was not wholly devoted to the Lord his God, like the heart of his father David." Everyone. This is why God did not prolong the reign of Abijah, but took his life after a short 3-year reign. This was the result of his many sins and idolatry before God. Beloved saints, when Abijah relied on God, His divine powers were manifested in him so that no other power on earth could rival that of Abijah. However, he departed from God and became a foolish being who was engrossed in the hedonistic way of the world. Everyone, let us learn from today's word. Let us continue to rely on God as we become more powerful. Let us not depart from God and walk in the way of sin. Instead, let us all take the way of perfect faith before God. I bless in the name of the Lord.